Okay, welcome back to Pong Redux Part 3, Player Controls. In this video, we're going to add the code to control the players so we can move the players back and forth, the player paddles, I'm calling them. And we're going to see a new function that will link a key to an action on the screen. So add some interactivity, which is exciting. Let's get started. Nearly everything in this update is going to go inside the draw loop. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here and I am going to switch to text briefly so I can add a comment that these are the player controls. So as I just mentioned, there's a new function that will capture a keystroke, and that is the key down function right here. There's a number of them: key down, key went up. They have important differences. The one that we're going to use exclusively is key down. If I pull this in, you'll notice like I can't put it in there, right? And that's because key down has to work in conjunction with another function, which is the if function. So if I go to control and I pull in an if, then I can go back to world and pull in key down as my Boolean statement. So it reads if the up key is pressed down. So in the event that we press a key down, what the commands inside of the if will be executed. And I think first let's do the arrow keys. So, and with Pong, we only need to move left and right. So this first one, I'm going to do if key down left, and I'm going to copy and paste for the next one, which is key down right. Then let's add some commands. So if we want to move our player left, remember that that is horizontal movement, and horizontal movement is in the X direction. And specifically, if we're moving left, that means that we're going in a negative X direction, or we're subtracting from the player's X position. So we need to be able to reference the player's X position and then subtract from that. So we're going to go to variables, and we're going to pull in the third block, X equals blank. And to reference the player's X position, we write, you guessed it, player.x. Oh, that's not right, because we named that player 1 or player 2. So player1.x here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do player 2. I'm going to do player 2 here, just because that's the way I have it in my notes, but it doesn't matter at this point. Then we're going to use a counter pattern. And you guys are all familiar with the counter pattern. This is how we count. We're not counting up, we're counting down, or subtracting here. So we're going to say player2.x equals player2.x minus some factor. And let's kick it off with 3. So every time through the draw loop, this condition will be checked. And if the left key is being held down, then 3 pixels will be subtracted from the player's X position, and it will move to the left. So long as we're holding that key down, the player will continue to move. If we lift the key up, then this condition here is no longer true, and this statement will not be executed. It will be skipped, and then it will go on to the next one and test that one. The next one's going to be the same, except with one important difference, right? Command C, Command V, pull this down. But instead of subtracting, we want to add, because we're moving in the positive X direction this time. And that should be it for that player. So let's give this a run and try it. And if I push the left arrow, I move left. And if I push the right arrow, I move right. It's a little slow right now. That's easy to fix, right? Because we can just maybe change these to 5 instead of 3. That's a little bit faster. And that just requires a little play testing to see exactly how fast or slow we want the paddle to move left and right. Nice! Let's go ahead and do the next one, the other player, player 1. And as you probably already guessed, we're just going to copy a big copy and paste job here, because now we can just change, we want to leave left and right, but we can change player 2 to player 1. Actually, I was wrong. We don't want to leave it left and right because those are the player 2 control keys. So if one person is using the arrows, the other person could use the WASD. So the left key would be A. These have to be in quotes. And then the right key would be D. Let's try that. Nice. We've got them both moving. Cool. It's as easy as that. And there's one other thing that I want to do with this. I don't want to have a an actual number here. We call that hard coding the number in. We want to be able to like easily change that number so we can update the speed of the player's left and right motion easily, and also while the program is running. So what do we need? We need a variable. So I'm going to go to variables and pull in the first block var x equals way at the top of the program. And I'm going to call this variable player speed. If I could type, that would be helpful. And we're going to set it equal to, let's try 10 for starters. Let's speed it up a little. I can copy that down here wherever I see a number and give that a run. Nice. That feels good. It's faster. Let me look what number I settled on before. 10. Yeah, I had settled on 10. Again, we can, as you level up or something, we could increase the speed of the player controls, or we could make it slow down or speed up if you get a power up or something. So that's very helpful to put a variable in there. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in part 4.